Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Defying Podcast. I have been gone for a very long time, and anything I can say is damn near an excuse. I just kind of fell off. Life got in the way and stuff, but I am back, and I'm going to continue the podcast for sure. Lots of new stuff coming. I'm back on my grind. I feel more of a passion, if you will, for the podcast. I'm gonna have a lot more guests on. Today I have a cool guest coming on, one of my really good friends back home in Chicago, Marvin. He should be joining us shortly. Talk about music, of all things. Kind of a switch over. Yeah, I kind of wanted to, now that I think about it, I don't know. I kind of lost where I was going with the podcast in a sense, because I do love martial arts. I am a fighter. And I love interviewing martial artists, but I think that got slightly, I think I forced the podcast in that way. And what I really want to do in general is to interview everybody and anybody. I'm very interested in what other people are interested in. I love what people are passionate about or what their interests are, whatever they may be. And I kind of want to just dive deeper into someone else's mentality. So I definitely am still going to be interviewing martial artists and learning about what gives them their spark and all sorts of stuff. This podcast is very, arbitrary, I guess. I don't know what word to use. It's going to be out there. So I don't necessarily want it to just stay at one thing, one niche, which everyone definitely says you should have just one thing that you talk about to have a specific audience, but I don't want that. I love the Joe Rogan Show. I love Theo Vaughn. I love a whole lot of podcasts that kind of, the PBD podcast, that's one show that I really like watching. So I'm kind of inspired by these guys who are just interview a lot of people, Diary of a CEO, all this sort of stuff. So I had to figure that out. So that being said, podcast will continue for the 20 people that watch it, but that is, that's 20 people, whoever you are, if you're listening to the podcast, you're listening to it, and I lost sight of that, and I apologize. So going forward, I believe that I know for a fact, I'm going to do a podcast once a week, every week, at least. And if I don't do a podcast with a guest, I'll do one by myself, whatever. And so let's get into it. All right, I just wanted to take the time out to thank our new sponsors, We Hate Clubs. We Hate Clubs is a brand which was developed with the idea that people should live outside of their comfortable spaces. Leaning into music, art, photography, parties, and fashion, We Hate Clubs is built to function as something greater than oneself. Make sure to follow We Hate Clubs on Instagram if you're in the Chicagoland area. Now back to the show. All right, everybody. I'm here with my good friend, Marvin McCouri. Wait, hold on. I'll think about it. Is your last name McCouri? I could have sworn your last name was like, I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah.
Ageman, yeah.
Yep. So my middle name is McCouri, last name is Ageman. I'm giving the government out there, but
Your middle name is McCouri?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That was
why'd they give you an Irish name?
I think it's French, or according to my mom. It? Yeah. So that was given to me by my mom.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, actually, it looks kind of fire, though. I'm not going to lie. For a second, I'm just like, hold on. I don't remember you as that. So it's like, now I was like thinking, like, hold on. That don't make no damn sense. But, All right, anyway. Marvin, my man, how are you doing, brother? How are you doing? It's been a long time, bro.
It's been a while. I think last time you were in Chicago, that's when we got to connect.
For sure. The last memory I have seen you was New Year's Day of going into 2024? Oh, going into 2025. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah. Because I know we spent New Year's together, so I don't know if that's the last time I saw you. That's the last memory I have of you.
Yeah, and our mutual friend Jabari and Adele, their engagement party, which...
Oh, that was before that, though. That was way before. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dating myself.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. That was fun.
No. But it's been so long. We don't even know how, the last time I saw you. But anyway, yeah, brother, I wanted to bring you on because I've low-key noticed your Instagram. it like putting out a ton of content. I'm just like noticing like this music. I'm like, damn, Marv, I didn't even know that you were into music this much and this deeply. And I was just saying earlier, I was talking to myself in a sense, or whoever was watching the podcast. I was like, I want to talk to people who are like passionate about something and kind of change, because I usually talk to about like MMA fighters and stuff like that, but I wanted to kind of broaden my horizon and speak to everybody. And I realized you are really passionate about music, and like the way I see your Instagram and how like in depth it goes, I didn't realize it was that deep. And I'm interested in why and how you got interested in music. So if you could just give me a quick little synopsis, or take as much time as you want, but what got you into music, and like what does it mean to you, to the fact that you like started a complete, like you transformed your Instagram into it. So it must mean a great deal.
Yeah. I should have started with this too, but thank you for having me on and thinking of me.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Thank you for coming on. I'm happy that you came on, for sure.
Absolutely. It is just, it's a treat, it's a joy to hear that, you can see my passion through, these digital platforms, and it's just, it's what I want, especially through music and kind of like where I'm thinking, music will be going as far as music discovery. And how I got into it was, as most people are, maybe, you're exposed to really good music from your parents. Me and you being West African, I had a lot of I guess what would be considered like Afro pop today, but also a lot of high life Ghanaian music played in my house. That high life music blends a lot of different like Western genres. Like there's a lot of jazz, there's a lot of rock, there's a lot of soul. So got into that, and then on the other spectrum, my dad was listening to a lot of like what you would hear with like typical Motown soul, so like Marvin Gaye. He was listening to a lot of like disco groups like Heat Wave and Earth, Wind and Fire, George Benson. So a lot of those early influences came from home. And it wasn't until in high school I was putting on a few small concerts. It kind of started with this individual who was known to have had brain cancer in the community of Plainfield where I grew up. So me and a few friends had the idea of holding just a local concert to raise money for that effort. And it wasn't until from there I start college, and my freshman year of college, after leaving the football team at a D3 school, I was just kind of like figuring out like, you go from this huge schedule of someone telling you what to do for a sport to none of that. And I didn't really know too many people other than the football guys. So I was trying to figure out what to do with my time. And there was infamous story here, but we have some mutual friends where this is involved too. Some friends come up to me. They're pretty high. And they have this like, and we're in the cafeteria at school, and they have this idea, and they're like, yo, there's this park right outside of this area that we know. What if we cut down all the trees and held a music festival there? And I was like, bro, first of all, we're not cutting down the trees. No one's signing off.
Oh, I was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. Like, it's a good cause, but damn, the trees.
They don't have to, get punished for what we want to do. We get the trees
right. Yeah, that'd be kind of hard to do logistically too. So.
Exactly. Like we were getting all the things to do that.
Chainsaws and shit.
Right. Like, cats coming in and we're bulldozing this thing like we're building something here. So I kind of I liked that idea, and I was kind of brainstorming with them like we don't have to. I think we can still make this happen with the things that we do have. So where I went to school, Augustana College, the president of our college he would show up in the what's it called, the cafe, or like where the coffee was served, and he would host these like open office hours where students can come and talk about whatever. And so I, with those friends, like kind of put together like a really rough pitch and went and pitched it to him and was like, we want to start this music festival here. Can we do it? And that really like swelled and spiraled into holding a music festival at the school that last year had, last year was the 10th year that it was held there. And that, I guess like to kind of close out the story, I did 4 years of that music festival at school, and it was really rewarding. I was, really diving into my passion for music. And after that, I went to pharmacy school. Wasn't creative at all during that time. So after I graduated, I wanted to get back into that creativity, and I realized when we were doing Sloughfest, the one thing that was really missing that I would have loved to implement was an aspect of like interviewing and curating, and I kind of got that from inspirations from like Apollo and David Letterman. So all of those things kind of came back into my life when I had time after pharmacy school, and here we are.
Whoa. Hold up. What's the name of the festival?
Sloughfest at Augustana College.
Sloughfest?
Yeah.
You started that?
I did with mutual friend LaSalle,
LaSalle?
Bishop.
Yo,
Yeah.
It's still going on till this day. That's 10 years ago.
It's been since 10 years. And the first year that so my entire freshman year, we got the green light, and they were deciding on how much money they wanted to give to this. So one idea that our friend Justin Bishop had, because he was well connected, was to go to various music festivals, specifically at colleges or just on a bigger platform, and just understand how those operations would go. So one big one that really like stands out to me is we went to Dillo Day at Northwestern University in Evanston, and they had Chance the Rapper that year, and we were like really understanding how this all came together. At the same time, this was around like, a huge, I guess, moment for Vic Mensa. He had a song with Kanye West. He was kind of all over the place as far as like really exposed to a big audience. So that was an artist that we loved, being from Chicago. And we realized the college students were loving him too. So that was the first act that we got at Sloughfest, which was insane.
Vic Mensa. I think I remember. Did Alan perform there too?
Yeah, Alan now 1981 Tokyo. I think he did two Sloughfests. He did that one, and I think it was the year after Vic Mensa. We got Gold Link and Smino, and he did that year too.
Damn, that's actually really cool, and that's a great lesson for anyone to learn. That's like, the idea just started in the cafeteria. You're looking outside the window, and then you spoke it into reality. And 10 years later, it's still going on. Yeah. And you still have influence over it. That's insane.
It's insane. And, like the fact that we're able to manifest that into what it is today is really special. And it kind of spiraled into other things. We had Augustana College would hold these events to kind of welcome all those students coming back to campus, and we were booking artists for that too. And it to me, like I was like filling my own cup with being so involved with music, but it was also really cool to give the students in the community of Rock Island just kind of something to look forward to that was around music and coming together.
That's awesome. And, I guarantee you, countless relationships have started at those festivals, friendships, great memories that's going to last a lifetime. So it definitely put a lot of good energy into the world. Because, and I also wanted to ask you, which is a great segue, into like what music means to you. Because for me, it's not, I don't have that like deep passion for music. And when I listen to certain songs, I do get some emotions, or good memories or bad memories. However, I don't think to my brain, my brain isn't wired in that sense. But I know for you, it's like you could listen to a song and decompose it so much to where you can do a whole podcast about it. I've seen you do it, and you're having like whole segments on it. So like, what does music mean to you to the point where you've gotten so passionate over the years?
I think music to me means expression. I think about one of the most pivotal times music served a deep purpose for me, and that was I think around the time that I was like in my teenage angst years, like most people. Yeah. And I was kind of like divided in, living in the suburbs and like seeing all of my friends like live this one way, and then living in an African household and like being
Oh, yeah.
held to, yeah, we all, like, exactly
You
what I'm
want to
talking
wear what? You are not wearing this. Go change.
Oh my god, bro! Exactly. Like, I'm wearing earrings on camera right now, and I remember being 16, getting my left ear pierced, and that was a huge deal, bro.
Bruh, my dad ripped my shit out once. I had an earring. I fell asleep. He caught me lacking, bro. He ripped it out. I was like, damn.
He got you.
Got me, bro. And I had a lip ring too. He ripped that bitch out too. Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, it is not. That makes sense because in an African household, and not to like bash African households because it's a great experience. However, some, not all, African households, especially for me and you as well, maybe not you, I don't know. It's self-expression doesn't. There's a line they draw, right? So it's like you want to like express yourself a certain way, they'll allow it to a certain degree because. My parents grew up in Ghana. Your parents grew up in Ghana. So they grew up a certain way. They're not used to the American culture. In America, we have a lot more open. We can be a lot more free. And, self-expression is very big here, especially at a young age for a lot of people, especially in Chicago and Chicagoland. So when, we're growing up, it's not, just to give some nuance to the audience, it's not like people are like, what do you mean? It's like, you can't express yourself the way you want to, especially wearing an earring. Like, it's not a big deal here, but in an African household, especially in Ghana, not all, because I have friends and even cousins that wore earrings. It wasn't a big deal to them, but here in America, it is. I'm sorry. To Ghanaian parents living in America, they didn't like that.
Yeah, and I think it was.
I kind of cut you off though, by the way. Yeah.
No, not at all. Like, I'm glad we're having this back and forth, especially from two people that like understand those households.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it was just different. Like, there was just that misunderstanding of like I wanted the earrings because I just wanted it, and like I think where my parents were coming from, which it wasn't a bad thing. It was just a different cultural set of rules. Is like. At least, my dad would always say, like, do you need it? And, I don't need it, but, like, I want it. And so, so, like, music kind of served that for me. And I'm thinking, and I had this, like, dissonance, too, just, maybe I'm mad at the world because, like, my parents don't understand something, or maybe my friends don't understand it because I'm African and they're not. And so I would listen to, like, a lot of Odd Future Wolfgang, which, was, at the time, very rebellious, very punk rap almost. Yeah, it was like, me and you actually grew up in the same church when you're in Chicago too, and that was like a big deal for me. Like, I loved it so much, but I was like, I shouldn't be listening to this because
I legit thought this was like demonic. I was like, damn, bro. This is the devil music. Especially when he would literally say stuff like, I'm the devil. So I'm just like, damn, am I listening to the devil right? It would actually freak me out a little bit, but I loved it. It was thrilling to me.
Yeah, and I think just as a teenager, maybe that's the reason I kept going back to it, because I was like, I shouldn't be listening to this,
This is some crazy shit right here, yeah. But like, so if you bring Odd Future in today, in 2026, it's nothing. Right. It's like, it's nothing. But back in 2014, or when 2015, like 2014.
2012, they were early.
Yeah, it was like, I guess it would be like what Eminem was when he first came out. And it's been a while since there was an artist like that. So, and it's a whole group of people, and they're just saying all this wild shit, and it's like, whoa. And then you listening to it, like, I definitely didn't listen to it out loud in my house for sure.
Yeah, I could.
That's a good reference, Odd Future, because back then, they were fucking crazy, or it seemed at the time, yeah.
It seemed to me too. I'll never forget. Like, I'm not recalling the song, but the infamous Tyler the Creator music video where he's like handling the cockroach and he eats it.
Yeah, what was the name of that song?
I can't think of it off the top of my. Was it Wolf?
I'm a fucking walking paradox. That's that one, right?
Yeah, yeah. And he's just sitting on the stool, just rapping. And at the end, it's like super dark. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to them. I was listening to Eminem. I was listening to Eminem at the time.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing that kind of like translated over to even like my adulthood was the storytelling. Like, I was fascinated with the song Stan for the same reasons that people would be fascinated with like murder mystery podcasts, right? Like, it's this tragedy that you can't look away from, but it's so novel. Like a fan that's so obsessed with Eminem that like all of these things kind of cascaded out of control into the song that's being told by the fan, like breaking that fourth wall. All those things were very new to me. And to your point of what you said, as far as like maybe our future wouldn't be as much of a shock factor now because maybe we have some of that. You know, I at the time felt like the Eminems and the Odd Futures of the world that had those shock factors, like there was a purpose to it. It was new. It was breaking the mold of like what we're hearing in music now. And so that's being, you know, kind of like mirrored today. But like you said, where are the artists that are like breaking forth on the new kind of storytelling and, you know, what that means today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know why this just came in my head, but it's kind of it's on subject, but it kind of segues slightly. It's like that one guy, David. You know what I'm talking about? David. In the back of my mind.
Oh, like D4 the
yeah. That guy is like, I don't know. He's not convicted of the crime yet, but you heard about what happened with him, right? Like
with the Tesla, and yeah, it's tragic.
With this girl. Well, she was a child, so it's like literally a girl. So
yeah, it's horrible.
It's like crazy because he's singing about it in the song, even though the song was made before. But it's that was to me was like, because I like that song because I actually liked the song when I first heard it. I'm like, oh, this is dope. But not knowing he's actually talking about a murder he's about to commit, right. Which is crazy. And it's like artists, I think there's the greatest artist, and I'm not saying he's a great artist. I mean, he is. It's a good song. However, the greatest artist musically, you know, you think about all these, the top, any artist you can think of, Michael Jackson, the Beatles, or Red Hot Chili Peppers, they all have something crazy about them, something outlandish that they do or they've been through, or some emotion that translates into their music that touches people's soul. You know what I mean? And it maybe in a good way or bad way. However, I don't know. I think that I don't know why my mind just went there, but I just thought when he was talking about, I'm like, damn, that David kid did something like that where he's singing all this wild shit, but he actually meant it. And then, on Odd Future, they don't really mean it, but it's like there's no like gray area. It's just this or that. Like,
yeah, and I mean for like the Michael Jacksons of the world, for the the creators of the world, for like those specific artists that like have a story to share with us. I mean, it reminds me of, you know, why rap became such a big deal when, you know, NWA was talking about their real life experiences, or when Jay-Z was talking about his real life experiences, Illmatic with Nas, because these were experiences that like the typical American either didn't live or didn't have like the means to tell others about on the stage that like these rappers could. And those like for those artists, like that is how they express the pain and the like, I don't know, the darkness of those worlds, like selling drugs and all those things that they do. They're translating into music that like other people can connect with, and even other people from those worlds that are like listening to it and thinking, bro, he's speaking to me. This is exactly what I'm going through. I can put my emotions into this music and like have someone who relates to me. So I think that bridging is really cool.
It is, and even on like the opposite side, like me personally, like I said at the beginning, I don't correlate, like some songs to me have good and bad memories, but to me that's the extent of it. I don't go so deep into the like the character of the song, so to speak. However, I do love drill music, and I don't know why. It's like I do know why, but because it's real. Like I know, I fuck with like, I don't know, like real gangster shit, like talking about killing people and like they doing the shit that they do in real life. I don't know why, like whether it's UK drill, Chicago drill, anything. Like I really like, but that's when I'm working out, when I'm training, I listen to that sort of music. And even in the morning, sometimes when I'm trying to like get ready for my day, I listen to it. I don't condone anything that they're doing. But I don't condone what they're doing. I think it's despicable. Like, like I'm like, bro, you really like Dirk as much as, you know, I don't know him personally, so I can't say he's a good person, but I'm sure he is because of all his kids now these days. But like, bro, if he goes to jail, I'm not mad because like, bro, like you, nigga terrorized Chicago forever, bro. Like all these people all these gangsters, they're really fucking up the city. But it's like I just love their music. I don't know why, and I don't know how to associate with that. Like on one, because I didn't necessarily grow up the way I grew up in the north side of Chicago in Uptown. Like it wasn't a bad neighborhood. It wasn't the best neighborhood in the world, but it wasn't necessarily a bad neighborhood. And then I moved to the suburbs later on in life, so I didn't grow up around gang violence, or at least to the extent of the music that they're portraying. But for me, it's just like I love listening to it, like King Von and all that shit. But like I don't know, does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, but there's a circular reason behind it. It's like I don't want to live that way. I don't condone what they're doing. I think it's terrible. But when I hear it on a music with a crazy beat, it just sounds so fire, and I like listening to it. So it's there's a but I also appreciate that they're really rapping about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Even though I wish they didn't do that. I wish they didn't do the acts that they're doing. However, them rapping about it and they're really rapping about it, it really stands out. And then there's other rappers that don't really do it and then they rap about it and it doesn't hit the same way. You know what I mean? There's rappers that have been exposed for like not doing the things that they say that they're doing. They're just rapping about it just because it sounds cool. And you can just tell it. You don't feel like that emotion that they're saying. You know, like they're not living that life. They're just talking about it. So there's a big difference. And then on the opposite side of that, I started listening to country music.
Okay.
I don't know.
What are you listening to right now?
I don't know if it's real country music. It's like what's this girl's name? I'm gonna look her up real quick. It's like cigarettes, smoke throwing through the party. I'm in a dress. I don't know if it's really considered country music, but her name is
Lainey Wilson.
Jas Vaughn. Jasvon. Jas Vaughn. It sounds more like hip. Yeah, she's a really good artist. I like her music. But it's like considered country, but it has like a hip hop rhythm to it.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll play a little sample. I don't even know if I can do that. Is that legal?
I don't know. I mean, I've done it, but I don't know. Yeah. We're doing it for educational purposes, right?
Educational purposes. So.
Yeah.
Here. I'm gonna skip a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like that. So it's there's like a hip hop vibe to it. So yeah, I don't know if that's considered country. Yeah, and then back when not Jason Aldean, even though I do like him. Broadway Girls, thinking of
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. I don't know if. Maybe quickly. Do you believe in industry plants?
Ooh, that's a
do you believe in it? Because like when people just like hit and they're just out of nowhere and they're the biggest thing and then they just go away.
Yeah. I don't know if I do believe in industry plants because I feel like there are so many avenues to get your music out there that maybe like these artists are like silently going crazy on TikTok videos. Maybe there's like, maybe on Bandcamp they're going crazy or like some niche audience and then they just have that one song that just explodes. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in that camp because, kind of circling back to being African, we're very heavy on like spirituality and like in a sense faith. And I don't like I'm trying not to say the word like voodoo because there is voodoo in Ghana. However, the culture of we can speak because it kind of circles back, right? They don't like fuck. How do I explain this? So,
by the way, I don't think voodoo is like a bad thing. I think it's not. It's not. I don't think it is either. However, our parents would think it is. And people in their age group would think it is, and I'm saying this because growing up, I'd always hear if you listen to certain music, it has like it's coming from the devil or like some evil notion or something because that's how I think what they said the devil played music. Lucifer was a musician or something like this. I don't know, but
and then I always hear like, oh, they only got famous because they sold their soul to the devil.
Yeah.
And I always think, I'm like, is that a hater perspective? Are people just hating? Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody just blows up and it's like they really put their heart and soul into some music, and just because you don't like it, you said that they're worshiping the devil. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, bro, like it sounds like a hater move. But that's just, I'm asking because like that kind of corresponds with the industry plant. I think that stems from it. It's like, oh, because somebody like Jack Harlow, I remember everyone said he's an industry because he blew up and then he just disappeared. But that's just how it goes, right? You're an artist, you know what I mean? Like you whatever you do, it could be anything. You come on the scene, you blow up, you can only last for so long, and then you're gonna go down. You know, only very few artists stay relevant for a long time, right?
I completely agree, and I think there's another aspect to it where, like, if you are not so big yet, you're making music because you have a drive to be big, maybe, or you love it. But then at a certain point, it becomes this system, this cycle. You put out an album, you have to tour it, you have to push it out, maybe you have a rollout that you're doing, and now rollouts are part of the marketing rollout means like you're posting on social media, which can be exhausting doing all of these things. So I don't blame the Jack Harlows of the world or these other artists for like wanting a break, you know, because I mean, you look at some of these tour schedules, especially like coming up in the new year with music festival and stuff. There are artists. I remember when Khruangbin, one of my favorite bands, 3-piece band out of Houston, Texas, had one of their more recent albums come out. They must have toured. It felt like they toured all year, and they have families and stuff too. So, but
true.
Kind of going back to a point that you said, I don't know how I feel about the industry plant thing. Maybe it's a real thing, but like I do know there are a lot of, or not a lot. I do know there maybe are some artists that, like you said, kind of sing or rap about like some demonic stuff or like show that theme in a lot of their music. I stay away personally, but like because maybe I don't know, there's something going on. I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. And it is kind of subjective too, because like I've heard people say like Sexy Red, for example. Sexy Red, oh, she's a demonic. She's talking about doing all this crazy shit. But you're saying that about Sexy Red and her music, but then what about Nicki Minaj? Then you go, and what about Taylor Swift? It's all the same shit that they're talking about. They're just saying it in a different way. Sexy Red is just saying it. Like, she's just saying it. Nicki Minaj is being more like, she's saying it as well, but she's at least, I don't even want to say more elegantly. She's not putting it that way, but she's putting it in a different way. She's not being so blunt. As to Taylor Swift is saying the same exact thing, but she's being very elegant. But she talks about sleeping with not necessarily sleep, but she talks about her being in relationships with multiple different men over a period of time. You know, just being her own. Beyonce, single ladies, all this stuff, even though she ain't single. And it's good music. Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's good music. I like it personally, but actually, I don't know if I say I like all of it, but my point is one, just because one is saying it this way and another is saying it that way, you can't say that this person is bad because what she's saying, because that person's saying the same thing just in a different way. She's maybe saying it a lot nicer, but it's the same thing, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, for me, that wouldn't even be grounds for something demonic. That feels like if someone's going to say, yeah, like if someone's going to say that, like, a woman is making music about like expressing herself, however she wants to make music that, you know, in that way is demonic. That feels like a hater is saying it.
Some hater, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's because I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, she's promoting like promiscuity. Oh, she's talking about doing all this and aborting babies and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, shit. Yeah, but if someone might consider that demonic, is what I'm saying. And someone might consider Odd Future demonic. Someone might consider Jazz Vaughn demonic. Someone might consider J-Lo demonic. Who knows? It's just that's what I'm saying. It's not an objective. unless they're literally saying, which I've actually heard Odd Future say this, like literally that they worship the devil. And I remember listening to this, and I'm like, should I be listening to this? I'm
Right.
like, but it sounds fire. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, this shit sounds so good. But I'm like, why am I listening to it? You know, I don't know.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I think honestly that is part of the aspect that makes music so fun and interesting. Maybe more so interesting. Like I think someone could say the Mona Lisa staring at you, no matter where you go, is demonic. Like there are you can twist it however you want. You know.
That's true. That's true. Anything could be like.
And that's
anything.
That's what I think is beautiful about it. Is it's up to interpretation. You know, there are many times with the same song, with the same album, artist, whatever, that I've listened to, music in my car. Maybe I was tired after work or something, and the meaning just hits much different than maybe like in the morning when I'm having my coffee, or if I'm emotional about something. You know, like it's the meaning kind of shifts and forms, and it like hits me differently. So I think it's cool if like people don't want to listen to a certain artist because maybe they feel a certain type of way, you know, like based on their faith and their religion or whatever. And we have a lot of music and artists out there, so there's enough for everybody to kind of find what fits them and what kind of says what those people are feeling. And the subjective part is dope to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's a lot of room for interpretation on a lot of things. So it does really help when it's not so blunt. And then there's, you know, stuff like this. People talk about it. There's podcasts. I didn't even know this. Like there's podcasts breaking down music when an album drops.
Too, you know,
that's crazy. Like I'm not that, like, that's not my world. Even though a lot of friends involved with music, they 1981 Tokyo, and you know all these guys that are just like in that. But I've never thought of it that way. It's just a song to me. It's just a song. Like I said, there's some songs that, like for example, "Fast Car" by Tracy Chapman, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the
first song and only song I've listened to that I cried in my life, and I don't cry. Like I don't know what it is. The first time I heard it, it didn't like nothing, and then. Actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. There's two songs.
Okay, we got
Adele. The other one was Adele. He won't go. Can't even on his own. What's the name of that song? Yeah.
It's on 21.
That song. Yeah, it's on 21. That song made me cry. So both of those songs, I don't know what. It's just I was fucking crying. It's like, damn, that was crazy.
Those are beautiful songs, though, man.
Beautiful songs. Yeah. So those to me, and then well, those are the only two songs I've ever listened to and like had a deep emotion to. But other than that, it's just music. And then I have good songs, like listen to songs that I like Love So, you know, high school parties, bro. Barry's house, basement, bro. We were going crazy, and just like the whole Chief. I think maybe that's why the Chief Keef era like that. But that's when it came out when we were in high school. So like that's when drill kind of popped off. So it was like it's like a youthful thing, you know. And then I love rock and roll. I love jazz. You know,
you got the spectrum, and it sounds like you kind of like are rooted in rap. Like, is that the genre that you kind of lean towards most right now?
It's the genre I listen to the most, specifically drill. It's the genre I listen to the most. However, I wouldn't say it's my favorite genre of music. I don't even have a favorite artist in music. I don't even have a favorite artist. Like I listen to almost everything. Like I used to not listen to country, but now I'm starting to listen to country more. But it's like that sort of country, like I just showed you. It's not really country. Or like Tennessee Whiskey is a good song too.
That's a great song.
It's a fire song, but like
I'll have to get back to you on this. But Tennessee Whiskey is a cover for.
Is it?
It is. I would say like maybe one of the best covers we've ever heard, but the original is very like honky tonk, and it's just so different. Chris Stapleton's version is very soulful, and I think that's why I resonate with it so much because
Oh my god, I just had a heart attack. I don't know. Like my internet just went out, and then like I see that. I hope this whole episode didn't just get deleted, bro, because it like went out, and then like I just went back into my like projects and I clicked it and I refreshed the page. The internet was out for like 5 minutes, and then I don't know. Hopefully, I still see that it's the recording time, so I hope it didn't.
I think it's still recording.
Damn. Okay. Damn, bro. What were you saying? Something about Tennessee whiskey?
Yeah, just that it was a good cover.
Okay. All right. Okay. So before I'll let you go, but I just had a couple more questions. What are your top 3 songs of all time? But before that, what are your top 3 albums you would recommend anyone to listen to? So albums first, and then top 3 songs. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to dig for this one.
Yeah. No, it's not an easy question.
That is not an easy question.
No,
top three albums that I recommend for anyone. I'm gonna try and do one hip hop album, one I guess like I'm gonna do 3 different genres.
Yeah,
it's really tough. So here, let me get a little bit of help here. But as far as the first album I'm gonna recommend, it's gonna be Con Todo El Mundo, which I can't remember what that translates into. Like We Are the World, maybe?
Something the World.
Yeah, that is the second studio album by Khruangbin, and it is so beautiful and rooted. I highly recommend that album. The other would be, and I was just listening to this the other day. This might be one of my favorite rap albums of all time, but it is Mad Villainy by MF Doom and Madlib. Incredible.
Damn. All right.
And then lastly, I am gonna recommend. Let's see. Ooh, okay, yeah, I have to go here, but I'm gonna recommend "Breezin" by George Benson.
Okay.
Yeah,
3 albums right there.
That was just near and dear to me personally. That is like a personal pick versus like this is one of the best albums that someone should hear. It is probably my favorite George Benson album around, with "Give Me the Night," and an album that's just so gorgeous that you're gonna come back to and like find different moments to play certain songs. So I highly recommend that, and finding like where you would soundcheck those songs in your life. Gorgeous.
Okay, I can dig it. Dig it.
Yeah.
And then 3 songs. Top 3 songs.
Dude, this is harder, bro.
It's hard. It's hard.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go back to the notes here because I kind of write some of this stuff down, but sometimes I just forget. Top 3 songs.
If you got your top 3 songs, there's so many songs that like I don't even think I could do that. I don't know why I'm asking you, but it's a good question. Maybe people might want to go back and listen to it. You know, like let me school some of these kids on some music.
Right, right. And I mean, the answer can change. Maybe I'll get to do this
for sure
again, and I'll have
for sure you will,
answers.
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I would expect nothing less. You get your flavor changes every so often.
For sure. Top 3 songs. Okay, so one that I could probably say pretty confidently right now, and I'm just trying to get what the title of the song is so I don't screw it up. It would be Seaside by Khruangbin and Leon Bridges on their Texas Sun EP. It's everything that you love about Khruangbin, and what I love about them is that they are this like soul rock, trio that brings in a lot of influences from the world. Like you hear a lot of like high life, and you hear just all of these different influences from world music. And Leon Bridges is the man. So it's just it's a really beautiful song. I think another song that I can probably say with confidence is one of my favorites is the song "As" by Stevie Wonder on his album Songs in the Key of Life. And
like AS or ASS?
Oh, not Ass. A-S, just ass.
Okay. I was like, I didn't know Stevie Wonder was doing all that now. I thought he was
The
blind.
lengthiest song
How you know about
his
ass?
discography.
I guess he can feel it.
Right, that's true. So he can sing about it,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on the same album as "Isn't She Lovely?" Songs in the Key
Okay.
Life,
Okay.
so
Okay.
it's gorgeous. And then honestly, I'm gonna have to say a song that is just kind of stuck with me forever is probably "Frontin'" by Pharrell and Jay-Z.
Okay.
So I'm gonna recommend that. I'm a big like nerd Neptunes guy, so that would be in the three. And I'm gonna do like a little bit of an honorable mention and say
Okay.
the the song. What's this song? Because I've been listening to it almost every day. It's 3D Country by Geese, and it is a little bit of country, a little bit of alt rock, and it is everywhere, all at once. It's a really good listen, and it's becoming one of my favorites, and I highly recommend it. I recommend it for. I actually really want you to listen to that song, Miles, and just like get back to me on just your thoughts. I'm curious on what you would think about that
Okay.
song.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it for sure. Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
in the. That's my problem though. I don't listen to new music. I'm never like that's the thing. Like all my friends, Bari, Allen, EBU, the guys like, oh, you hear that new this album? You hear that new Rocky album? You hear that? I'm like, no, I didn't, and I didn't. I don't plan on listening to it until I hear it. Like it has to get to me. Like I don't chase the music. If I hear a song, like you look at my playlist, man, it's so random. It's like random from old. Maybe there's a couple new songs in there, but I guarantee you ain't nothing this year or last year. Maybe a couple of songs, but mostly it's just like songs that I listen to that it sounds good to me. There's no like order of like, you know what I mean? Like I can listen to one song out of an entire album. I hate that whole album. I listen to that one song, and then like that's just
And
me.
that's coming on.
I don't have like. Yeah, I just put it on. Like, I listen to the rest of the album. The album sucks. I just like the song, and then I'm like, I don't even like the artist. I like his song. I like this one song by this artist. The rest of the songs with him suck, in my opinion. But like that's just
Which
not
is cool,
whoever
bro.
you just mentioned. But like in general, I'm saying, yeah.
Can
All right,
can I
and
do
then I'm
can I
start-
do can I
yeah,
do a
go for it. Go
quick
for it. What were you
plug?
gonna say? Of course, bro.
So I do this. I curate this playlist. Oh, let me grab something real quick. I curate this playlist called Marv's Crate Flip, and the name kind of comes from. Hold on, why isn't this working? The name kind of comes from There you go. It comes from like if you were to go into a record store and see a crate of records that are random, and you're like trying to figure out what you want to buy or pick up, and you just like flip through the crate, and that is exactly what I make this playlist for. It's 20 songs. It's always going to be 20 songs until maybe I change my mind. To make it just simple, and you just like flip through the songs that you like, and I update it frequently. And I recommend if you like want just like one place, maybe Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, where you can just like go to this playlist and just like randomly listen to songs and then come back to it, and there's a fresh new 20 songs that you can listen to and take what you like. I'm gonna plug that playlist because I think I add a lot of randomness there.
Okay, and that was actually gonna be my next question. I was gonna say, where can people find you? And like, do you have like your you have your Instagram, but I'll just let you do that. Just plug it where everyone can find you, everything. Where to find that playlist, where to find you, how to reach out to you, all that stuff. Yeah.
I appreciate you letting me do that. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram, also on TikTok under Marvin McCouri, and on YouTube. And I'll be kind of talking more about YouTube. If you follow me on Instagram, I have a platform on YouTube called Dual Input where I talk to artists and talk to just kind of everyone, and it is centered around music and also coming together as people and like building human connections with music that soundtracks our lives while we're talking about life. So there's that, and then lastly, Marv's Crate Flip, which you can find currently on Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal. We'll see about Spotify in the future. But it is that playlist that I was telling you about, so you can save those and come back to them whenever you want.
It is on Spotify, or it's not on Spotify?
It is on Spotify. I don't know if it'll stay on Spotify. I may move it somewhere else.
Okay.
But as of right now, you can find it on Spotify.
Okay, I'll get it before it's too late, y'all. And then my last question is, which I'm gonna start doing this from now on my podcast. So you're the first person I'm gonna ask this to. If you could give advice to your former self, what would you say? And your former self obviously is you, but also to anyone. So it's another way of what advice would you give to someone? But when you say that, it's always like, oh, follow your dreams. But I'm asking you for you specifically, because what would you say to yourself? However, it could resonate with someone else now. So what advice would you give to your former self?
To my former self, I would say don't stop being curious. That is what got you to the right places in the first place. Being curious being curious enough where you're more curious than you are worried about failing is a good place to be in. It's where I feel like, I could have, and I say this to myself because after Sloughfest, I didn't continue to be curious about ways that I could be creative and still tap into my love for music while I was going through one of the hardest 4 years, in my life of going through graduate school. I just kind of dove into graduate school and then imbalanced myself. So by the time I was done, I was yearning to be creative again and to dive back into listening to music. So that's the advice. And, when you have those questions, when you are curious about something, you want to go down that rabbit hole and figure out like how you should do it, just do it. Maybe that's the second piece of advice, but I struggle with like taking that curious to action a lot of the times. And that is, the most important thing for momentum and driving more curiosity.
Okay. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. Don't stop being curious. That's really good. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. So there you go. Marvin McCouri, everybody. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. And we'll talk soon, all right? Have a good one. Zdravo.
Hello, wie geht's?
Buongiorno.
Hello, how are you?
Olá, tudo bem?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Preply. Preply is an online language learning marketplace connecting tutors to hundreds of thousands of learners in over 180 countries worldwide. More than 35,000 teachers teach over 50 languages, powered by a machine learning algorithm that recommends the best tutors for each learner. Hit the link in the description box for access to 30% off your very first language lesson. That is 30% off your very first language lesson. Thank you, Preply. Now back to the show.